Hey, can you see how many people are viewing from your laptop?
Yeah, I'll just let you guys know. Yeah, because I'm actually viewing the live stream.
Yeah, we're live now.
Alright guys, so I'm really sorry about the technical difficulties. This keeps happening. If you guys have any suggestions for live stream applications, please let me know because I'm really fed up with this happening. This is happening every time to my channel, to my video, sorry. But yeah, I'm just going to find the live stream again and I'm going to view some of you guys' comments. And I'm going to reply to them as fast as I can. By the way, you guys are asking some really good questions, which I'm really loving, by the way, so just get back on. Oh, whoops. Okay, I think I'm on the wrong live stream. Sorry guys about this, but I'm going to do my best to make sure that this works. Alright, so I'm back again, guys. Found the live stream finally, and we're back on the live stream video. So, thank you guys for joining me back. Alright, throw your questions at me now, so I'm going to do my best. Alright, Thomas Smith asks, what are you recording with? Alright, currently I'm recording with an iPhone 6. I'm using an application on there for videoing this. But anyway, yeah, that's what I'm using now, and I'm trying to use an app and using my computer here, which is what I usually use to get the angles. Yeah, so I'm going to be replying to your comments here. I'll see them in the chat section, and yeah, so just fire away your comments. I'm probably going to delete the last live stream, so I'll try to cover some of the comments that you guys asked on that previous live stream video, so that I don't get any more comments, because it becomes overwhelming. So, if you guys have any questions, don't forget to put them in the live chat. Okay, so I'm just going to do one more little comment for you guys. You guys were really asking me a lot about trapjaws. Like tips on keeping trapjaws, stuff like that. And as you can see, I have a really big trapjaw colony here, and of course I have my trapjaw queen actually right here in this little brick setup. Okay, so I got a comment here. It's asking, what is the amount of ants that I'm currently keeping right now? Okay, so currently right now I'm keeping 2 large colonies, my Camponotus colony, which is over there, and my large trapjaw colony over here, which I recently moved into a very large setup. Currently, I have a bunch of test tube setup colonies over here. Keep them over here. Usually I'll have a piece of cardboard, but yeah, I'm keeping them in here for now. Got a couple of queens in there, a Duophodole colony, and Solenopsis geminata, an Odorous houseant queen, 2 Cnidaria colonies, and yeah, I have some more that I'm raising who are just at a single queen now, no nenidic workers. Okay, this is a really good question from Thomas Smith. Why did I start ant keeping? Well, I'm going to be completely honest. Of course, my main influence was Ants Canada. I watched some of his videos and I was like, wow, it's a pretty cool hobby. So I tried to do it myself. I've been doing ant keeping now for about a year in Singapore. My success rate at the start was very terrible. I just caught like a couple of queens and pretty much just forgot about them, and then when they got their workers, the workers would die off eventually, which was a bit sad. But now I've gone a bunch more hardcore, and I'm keeping much larger colonies now. I'm getting some of my friends into ant keeping as well. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, here's a question from Gangster Rap. Is it possible for ants to live underneath a sofa? Okay, it depends. Actually, maybe a Camponotus colony could live under a old sofa. That would be my best guess. Maybe, yeah, they'd probably nest in the wood or something like that. Okay, here's a good question from MJ16Woo. Okay. What good formicarium are good for Solenopsis geminata? Okay, so the best formicarium, if it's customized, is an Omninest. If it's not customized and you still have the sponge, it can become a terrible disaster. They'll have tons of escapees. One of my friends actually is keeping a Solenopsis geminata colony. He's actually doing the recording right now. He's behind the camera. And his Omninest that he was keeping them in was not properly secured, and he had a bunch of escapees, so now he has to probably most likely move them, which we might document on this channel, probably will, because it's quite a large Solenopsis geminata colony. Okay. Okay, so do my parents have any problems with ant keeping? To be honest, my parents personally were really supportive when I started at it. They were first saying like, dude, why are you having ants in your house? It's kind of stupid. And they didn't really go with the fact, they didn't really like me doing it at the start. But then being the supportive parents they were, they actually allowed me to do it in the future. And now they're cool with it, knowing about the hobby. I'm just going to give you guys some advice about it to convince your parents. Ant keeping's a hobby. It gives you something to do every week, you know, it's something really cool to watch. And I'm probably going to make a video on that for you guys to convince your parents if you're having trouble convincing them about ant keeping. Okay, how old am I? I am currently 14, I'm turning 15 in June. Okay, Thomas Smith here with another question. Have you ever thought about keeping other animals like spiders or scorpions? I have, not really like professionally I would say, but I have thought of maybe keeping a scorpion or a praying mantis or something. What was your first ant colony? From Joseph Gorel. The first small ant colony that I had in a test tube setup was a small red Pheidole colony. They had about 10 workers, and it was really hard to keep them because they'd actually dug into the cotton, and I was trying to move them because the mold was becoming really bad, and eventually all the workers died from the mold, which was kind of sad. Okay. Okay, here's an interesting question. From JX Mystic. My parents get mad at me because I'm always outside looking for a queen ant. If I was a parent who had a child who's looking out for queen ants, what would I think? Well, it's actually quite an interesting question. Being the person that I am, and an ant keeper, I would probably say yes, because I know that it's a hobby, it gives my child daily routines, stuff like that. It's kind of like keeping a pet dog that's in a cage almost. I would probably be fine with it. If I was realistically a normal parent, I'd probably be scared and would not want ants running around the house, to be honest, if I was an ordinary parent. Okay, Gangster Rap is asking, is there a nuptial flight around my place right now? Yes, it is raining now, and there's always a nuptial flight around my house for some reason. There's always at least a couple little red Pheidole queens, which I'm never bothered to catch anymore, but yes, always around my house there are nuptial flights. It's really weird, but it's ironic as well. Especially when I was a beginner, I thought like, oh my god, it's heaven, I've been given a gift, but now I don't really see it that much of a blessing anymore, so, okay. What is the best ant species to start with? Okay, so personally, if you want to get like workers as fast as possible and you live in Asia, I would recommend Cnidaria. They give you workers really quickly, but from then on, they're really hard to raise. If you're in the Western, or if you're in America, Europe, Africa, I would recommend maybe Formica or Lasius. They're really good, easy species. Or Tetromorium. They're also really easy species. But the best species, I'd probably have to say Lasius, probably. Okay, got a lot of questions from you guys. Does your friend have an ant channel? No, he does not. He's helping me out with this channel. We kind of did it together, and we're doing it as a dual kind of thing for now. Okay, okay, am I from Singapore? Yes, I am from Singapore. What was the other part of the question? Let me see. When are the nuptial flights here? Well, to be honest, in Singapore, I find nuptial flights are happening every single day. If you go to a light right now around your house or your condo, you're going to find queen ants right after this rainstorm. I'm being 100% honest. Right after this rainstorm, go outside now and you'll probably see a bunch of little red ants with wings. Those are queen ants. Those are Pheidole. But yes, and they're happening all the time with any species. Okay. Angus, Anthony Timms. Am I still awake? Yes, I am. What is my home country? Well, I have an American passport, so that technically, and I am an American citizen, but I'm living in Singapore. When did I start my ant career? My professional ant's career, I would say it only started a couple of 4 months ago, I'd say. Okay. Are there nuptial flights happening now in the Netherlands? Let me go check that. I would probably say yes, since it's spring. I don't really know much about Netherlands and ant keeping, but I would most likely say yes, as it is springtime there currently. Okay. What is the most difficult part of ant keeping, from Angus? That's a very good question. I say there's a lot of difficulties in ant keeping, especially recovering from a lot of mistakes that you make from being a beginning ant keeper. But I'd say probably one of the most difficult things is just committing to it. You have to commit to ant keeping. If you just slack off for one day, your colonies are either going to die or your colonies are going to die eventually, or any new queens you have. Okay. What is the best place to look for queens in Sweden? That is a very hard question. I do not know. I don't know if ant keeping in Sweden is similar, but I would try looking around lights, maybe, or maybe try looking around bricks or forest, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe looking around ant nests, maybe, when nuptial flights are happening. Okay. Okay, guys, these are really good questions. I'm gonna have to do my best to answer them. Where do I live in Southeast Asia? I live in Singapore. Okay, how long does it take for messer queens to have their first workers? Let me think. This is messer, right? Messer are in Asia. I would say that they would take around the 3-week to around the 1.5 month margin at the most. Probably for messer. Okay. Thank you guys for answering some of the questions. I'm doing my best. Okay. Okay, Thomas Smith wants me to show you guys my giant ant tank in the back. I will get to that a bit later on in the live stream video. I'm just gonna answer some of your guys' questions and I'll show you guys. Do I have a leafcutter ant colony? No, but I really want a leafcutter ant colony. I've always wanted one if I was to keep exotic ants, but of course it's illegal, so I'm probably never going to be able to keep them. Okay. Oh, just something here. Myrmica rubra ants will start flying in late April and fly into July. That was from Jan Dryson. Sorry, I can't pronounce your channel, but thank you guys so much for answering those questions. Am I allowed to link stuff here? I don't see why not. Yes, I do use a fish tank for my ant content. This was I found in a local fish market. That's usually the best place to get them. They sell them for quite cheap prices, actually. Where can you find Myrmica rubra? I wouldn't really say where. I'd say maybe, that's a really hard question. You can find Myrmica rubra in the States. I don't really know much about them, sorry. Maybe some of you guys on the live stream can help reply to that. Okay, so here's a really good question. On average, how often does a queen that I catch work out and eventually die? It takes, it depends. I'd say maybe 1 in 3 queens that I catch do not make it into having their first minute ticks. What's the best place to find queen ants in Malaysia apart from the forest? Definitely around, okay, so here's the question. What is the best place to find queen ants in Malaysia apart from the forest? Okay, the best place is definitely around your condos, large HDBs around where there are large lights, really bright lights. Even at restaurant places, you can find ants after rainstorms. Okay, here's another question. Where do I live? I'm going to say this last time. I live in Singapore currently. Okay, what is my subscriber goal for Angus Anthony Tins? Well, to be honest, originally it was like going to be 100 subscribers, but the lot has changed. We're almost at 1K, which is ridiculous. We have overtaken so many ad channels, which I'm now helping out, giving them shout outs, stuff like that. So thank you guys so much for the support. It really means so much. Alright, looks like we got a couple different languages now being spoken on the chat. Very interesting. Okay, here's a good one. How do you convince your parents into letting you own an ant queen at the moment? I'm hiding them. Okay. Well, this is a topic I feel very strong about. So, if your parents are not cool with you keeping ant queens, go up to them and tell them, hey, parents, I'm keeping ant queens. They probably go like, what, are you crazy? Then you say, I know what you're thinking. Keeping ants sounds pretty stupid. But the things that it's going to teach me, daily routines, keeping them, you know, in setups, having to adjust to them, it's giving me something to do. It's not that much of a distraction, but it's giving me a hobby, something to be proud of, you know. Most people these days don't really have that many hobbies that they can be proud about, you know. People sit on social media a lot of the time now, and you know, just having like a simple small ant colony in a test tube set, it just gives you something to do, gives you something to watch over, and that would probably be what I would say to my parents if I was hiding my ants from them. Am I interested in weaver ants? Yes, I did have a weaver ant queen, but they are really, really hard to raise in captivity. It eventually died, which I was a bit upset about, but my friends were all telling me that they are really hard to raise. I wouldn't really be that big on keeping a large colony of them. But yeah. Okay. Let me see. Am I a GAN farmer in Singapore? I am planning to, but I actually have a lot of ant colonies that I want to sell. For example, I'm actually thinking of selling my Capanotus colony over there so I can use the money to get a really cool species of ant that I've always dreamed of keeping, and those are Asian marauder ants. I've always dreamed of keeping a large colony of those guys. But yeah, if you guys are interested, just send me an email at bigheadedants@gmail.com. And I might be able to give you guys some details if you live in Singapore. They're about to hit the 400 worker margin. But yeah, that's only if you guys are interested. Okay, so a question is, when are the most nocturnal flights happening in Europe? Definitely around springtime, so I would say now, probably, towards late April, around that time. So start looking, maybe even after a rainstorm or later today. Anyway, so, okay, I'm not sure, how do you separate a fertilized ant or a... Okay, so how to, I guess this question is kind of hard to understand, but how do you identify if a queen is fertile or not? So that means identifying a queen ant. That's kind of hard sometimes, because sometimes ants will actually lay infertile eggs, which are really hard to identify. So I would say just wait until they get workers. Wait a month or so. I actually made a video on this, on the basics of ant keeping. I went over a topic on how to identify a queen ant. Okay. Okay. Ants worldwide. You say I'm a comedian. Thank you very much. Okay. Yes, it is. Gangster Rap says keeping ants may sound very weird, but it's very satisfying. That is very true. Very, very true. Okay. To be honest, so one of the questions was asking, how do I find Formica ants? I don't really know where. I'm gonna try and do some research for you guys about that. So, okay. I'm probably gonna have to wrap up this live stream, guys. I'm really sorry about that, but okay. Let me just go through a couple of the comments. Okay. Do I want to Care Bear Dire versus colony? So that is Asian marauder ants. No, but I really want to keep them. So just saying. Okay. What is the worst part about ant keeping? Okay. Probably when you find out one of your ant colonies is dead, or you've made a big mistake with a colony that you love. Like you've killed the queen by mistake. That is definitely the worst part of ant keeping, is when you screw up, make a big mistake. Okay. What if Ants Canada came onto this chat? I'd be very surprised. Okay, Ant Scotland is saying that he keeps Solenopsis geminata ants. Do I have any experience? No, but my friend over here has some experience. Archie, would you like to say anything for keeping Solenopsis geminata?
They escape too easily.
Okay, they escape too easily, so make sure you seal up all the cracks in that area. And make sure you feed them. Okay, I've answered this question a couple of times, but it's asking me, where did I catch my trapjaw ant queen in Singapore? I actually found it in a HDB. We were going queen hunting with my friends, and we just stumbled across this weird looking ant queen. Never seen anything like it before. No videos done on it that I'd seen. And I caught it, and eventually Ants Canada actually released a video about a week later about his trapjaw queen. I'm like, whoa, I caught a trapjaw queen. Surprising, and she's right in here actually, in this little cube. Okay. Is someone recording the live stream for me? Yes, my friend behind the camera. Yes, I'm going to do more live streams. I'm going to plan on doing them once every month. There's an exclusive live stream for you guys to answer, maybe twice every month, for you guys to throw your questions at me for each region, for Eastern and Western regions. Have any ant colonies that I've had died? Yes, I've had many 9-Darian colonies died in the past, which was a bit sad. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to wrap up this live stream. If you guys have any questions, throw them out now. I'm gonna answer last 3 questions, okay? So. Okay, I guess before I end this, I'll show you guys my trapjaw colony, which I moved into here. So, yeah, let's just go get them. Okay, so now I'm going to be showing you guys the trapjaws. Here they are. So you can see, this may look familiar to some of you guys. This is what I used to keep my Camponotus in. And I actually incorporated this into this setup, and this is going to be the last part of this live stream video, guys. So you can see how many ants are in there. In fact, they've started building satellite nests, so there are even more in here at one moment. And I can actually try and find you guys one of the elates. They're all over the nest. Is that one? No, I do not see. There's one. It's very hard to see because of the focus, but there's one back there. You can see the